Are you looking for a superior opening that will win you games and leave your opponent crying over the chessboard? This gambit is so strong but nobody is playing it. In this gambit you sacrifice a piece in the opening, but if successful, you're left with a 92% win rate and a brutal and soul-crushing checkmate against your opponent's king. The game starts with the Ruy Lopez. You go knight here and your opponent will most likely castle. Instead of continuing this old and boring opening, you play a rare and provoking move, knight here. Nobody is playing this move, so you know for sure your opponent isn't prepared for this lethal trap. See this knight here? It looks annoying, right? That's why most people play pawn here to kick the knight out, and now you're ready to go fishing for the king. You push your pawn to defend the knight. Your opponent will take because why not? It's a free knight. Except that it's not a free knight, and they will get checkmated in 5 moves. You take back with the pawn, attacking their knight. Your opponent can only move the knight to these 2 squares, both lead to your opponent's ultimate destruction. Suppose they move knight here, you move your queen to h4 to build up a missile to checkmate your opponent's king. It's literally unstoppable. White has to push this pawn to give the king a square to run to, but it's already too late. You push this pawn to shut down the only escape square of the king, and it is checkmate next move. The other square that the knight can move to is h2. In that case, just proceed with the same plan. They'll need to give up their rook and knight to delay checkmate. If you can't win this position, there is no cure for you. There's one thing. Once they've fallen for the trap, they do not need to move their knight away. A common move is bishop takes knight. In this case, you just take back and now your bishop is alive and you have the same checkmate threat. If your opponent plays any other move, just take the knight, fork them on d4, and remember you have a mate threat. Now we'll go to the most important part of this video, how to use this gambit in real life. In the beginning of the video I told you that this gambit starts with the Ruy Lopez, but you can play this gambit with the Italian, the 4 knight, or literally anything that allows you to put the knight here while the king is castled. Suppose you reach the 4 knight game. Your opponent will most likely go bishop here or here. You might feel tempted to go knight here, but the king is not castled yet. So I recommend playing h6 as the waiting move. This stops bishop to g5, so they likely will castle instead of pushing this pawn. Now you can execute your plan. Good luck and have fun.